A hand shot up out of the hay and grabbed Jacob's wrist just as he raised his pistol to fire. He froze, his finger stayed on the trigger. His heart banged hard in his chest. Slowly, a face rose out of the straw, dust and tears mixed on her cheeks, hair stuck flat with sweat. A young woman. She did not scream. She did not beg. She looked straight into the barrel of his gun and did not blink. "Shoot me if you want," she said, her voice cracked and dry, "but I am not going back." Jacob stared. His hand shook a little, though he would never admit it. Nobody talked to a loaded gun like that, not out here, not ever. He lowered the pistol, slow, careful. "You are hiding in my wagon, girl." "I know where I am hiding," she snapped back, letting go of his wrist. She sat up straight in the hay, spine stiff, chin high, like a queen sitting on a pile of rocks instead of a throne. Her dress was torn. Her lip was cut. And still she looked at him like he owed her an explanation. Jacob almost laughed. He caught himself before it came out. A half-starved girl, hiding like a rabbit, talking to him like she held the gun instead of him. "Most folks beg," he said. "You are not begging." "Begging never worked for me before," she said. "Why start now?" The wind pushed dust across the road. Far off, faint as a whisper, came the sound of horses. Many horses, riding fast. Her face went white. All that fire in her eyes turned to fear in 1 second flat. "Please," she whispered, now the queen gone, just a scared girl left. "Please, they cannot find me here." Jacob looked down the empty road behind them, then back at her shaking hands. He shoved his pistol back in its holster. "Get down," he said, "and stay down." The horses grew louder behind them, thump, thump, thump on the hard dirt road, and Emma pressed her whole body flat into the hay, not breathing, not moving, one hand over her own mouth to keep silent. Jacob did not look back. He kept his eyes on the road, his hands loose on the reins, his face empty as stone. But under his shirt his heart was pounding fast. 3 riders pulled up beside the wagon. Dust rose around their horses. The lead man had a long scar on his cheek and eyes cold like river ice. "Evening," the scarred man said, slow and easy, like he had all the time in the world. "We are hunting a runaway girl, blonde hair, blue dress. You seen her?" "Seen nobody today," Jacob said. "Just dust and rocks." The man's eyes moved to the hay in the back of the wagon. He stared at it a long moment. Emma's heart froze inside her chest. "Mind if we take a look?" the man asked. It did not sound like a question. "I do mind," Jacob said, turning to face him straight on. "This wagon is mine. You want to search it, bring the law with you." Nobody spoke. The horses breathed hard in the quiet. A coyote howled somewhere far off in the dark hills. Then the scarred man laughed, cold and short, and kicked his horse forward. The other riders followed him into the night. Jacob did not move until the sound of hooves faded to nothing. Then Emma sat up slowly, shaking, tears cutting clean lines through the dust on her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for not giving me away." "Those men," Jacob said quietly, "did they hurt you?" Emma's voice broke as the truth spilled out. "My father owed money to a man named Silas Crane. He said I would marry Crane instead to pay the debt. I am 19. He is old enough to be my grandfather. I ran the night before the wedding." Jacob's jaw went tight and hard. "You are not going back," he said. "Not ever." Emma stared at Jacob like he had lost his mind. "Marry you?" she said, her voice shaking. "We just met tonight. You do not even know me." "I know enough," Jacob said, his voice calm and steady. "Crane cannot claim a married woman, not by law, not even a man like him. If you are my wife, he has no more reason to chase you. You would have my name, my land, my protection." Emma's eyes filled with tears again, but these were different now, confused, unsure. "Why would you do this? What do you get from it?" Jacob looked away out at the dark road. "I lost my wife 2 years back. Sickness took her fast. My house has been empty since. My land needs hands. My heart has been empty too, if I am honest with you." He turned back to face her. "I am not asking for love, Emma. I know that does not happen in one night. I am asking to give you my name and a safe life on my ranch. You would work beside me, eat at my table, sleep safe under my roof. If feelings grow between us someday, good. If they never do, you will still be free, still be safe. That is my offer." Emma wiped her face with a shaking hand. Her mind spun with fear and something else, something warmer, something she had not felt in 3 long days. "And if I say no?" she asked quietly. "Then I still take you somewhere safe," Jacob said without pause. "A town far from here. I will give you what money I can spare. This is not a trap, Emma. It is a choice. Your choice." Emma looked at this rough, quiet stranger who had already risked his own neck to protect her from armed men. She thought of her father who sold her like cattle. She thought of Crane's cold, snake eyes. She thought of 3 days running and hiding and crying alone. Then she looked at Jacob, offering her a life instead of a cage. "All right," she whispered, her voice trembling but sure. "I accept, Jacob Reed. I will be your wife." The church doors burst open with a loud crash just as Father Thomas said the final words of the wedding. Silas Crane stood in the doorway, his face twisted with fury, 3 armed men behind him. His cold eyes locked on Emma at once. "You," he snarled, stepping inside. "You thought you could hide from me. You thought some rancher could steal what belongs to me." Jacob stepped in front of Emma, his body a wall between her and the guns. "She belongs to nobody, Crane, and you just walked into a wedding." "Not finished yet," Crane hissed. "The words were not complete. I still claim her." The armed men raised their guns a little. The preacher stepped back, scared. Emma grabbed Jacob's arm tight, her heart slamming against her ribs. But Jacob did not move. His voice stayed calm and steady. "Father Thomas, finish the words." The old preacher's hands shook, but his voice grew stronger. "Do you, Jacob Reed, take Emma Hart as your wife?" "I do," Jacob said firmly, eyes locked on Crane. "And do you, Emma Hart, take Jacob Reed as your husband?" Emma looked at Crane, at the gun pointed their way, at 3 days of running finally reaching its end. She squeezed Jacob's arm hard. "I do." "Then I pronounce you husband and wife," Father Thomas said fast. Crane's face turned red. "This means nothing. I will." "You will do nothing," a new voice said from the door. The sheriff stood there, 4 armed townsfolk behind him. "Silas Crane, there is a legal marriage here in front of witnesses. This woman is under her husband's protection now and the laws. Ride out of Millbrook or spend tonight in my jail." Crane looked around at the guns, at Jacob's fierce eyes, and knew he was beaten. With one last glare, he turned and stormed out. His men followed. Hoofbeats faded into the morning street. Emma collapsed into Jacob's arms, crying with relief. "It's over," she whispered. "It's over," Jacob agreed softly. "You are safe now. You are home." They walked out together into the gold morning light, husband and wife, ready to build a new life side by side.